Hello everyone, I'm Hillary with Dominion Tea and welcome to January of 2025. So we've got a new year and I always like to start my new year by looking for new teas. And this year we kind of dug up some. They've been around a long time, but they get ignored quite a bit. And so we're going to encourage you to explore these this year. And so let's kick this off. We're going to start with the first Flush Darjeeling. Now Darjeeling is always a black tea, but you need to know what a flush is to know what type of Darjeeling you're drinking. So most Americans are going to be familiar with a second flush Darjeeling. That's generally what you're going to find in a tea bag in the grocery store. So what is a flush? A flush is when it is harvested. So in India, there's usually a first flush, a second flush. You won't generally see a third flush because there's a monsoon season. What you get is an August harvest, which is post-monsoon. Most post-monsoon tea out of Darjeeling goes into tea bag. It is very flat, very one note, and not the signature Darjeeling we all know and love. So what's a first flush Darjeeling? Well, the first flush Darjeeling is generally harvested in the month of April. However, climate change for the last couple of years has backed it up. So they're getting harvested late February into March now. So what is this doing to the tea? It's a gorgeous tea. It's just greener. So what do I mean by that? You're going to notice when you brew it, it's going to brew yellow. It is not going to brew the orange that you would generally see in a second flush. It is going to be grassier and more floral. So your second flush Darjeeling is prized for being fruity, right? Specifically a muscatel grape. But your first flush Darjeeling is going to carry some notes on the end of it that are a little bit more like apricot. Now, I love playing with first flush Darjeeling because this Darjeeling is exceedingly flexible when it comes to water temperature. So you can have a totally different cup of Darjeeling at 175 degrees, which is how we brew our green, versus up at just shy of a boil, which is how you would traditionally brew a second flush Darjeeling. So you can brew it both ways, but I'm going to tell you, play around with the temperature and find the cup you like because you're going to enjoy the complexity of this tea. Our next one is Puerh Leaf out of the beautiful country of Malawi in Africa. So we call this Puerh Leaf Satemwa. This is a baked pu'er, and this is a beautiful pu'er. They've managed to dial in the skill set of making a really earthy, well-rounded, beautiful mouthfeel on this pu'er. If you have never had pu'er, this is a perfect introduction to you to this tea. So how do we brew a pu'er? These pu'ers are baked and aged. So you're re-wetting a very dry sponge. So you're gonna brew it like a black. You're gonna steep it for 5 minutes, just shy of a boil, right? So it's usually about 208 degrees. I will tell you, I like to brew mine down at 200, personal preference. Don't like really hot beverages. And so what are you gonna get with this? So I mentioned earthy, woody. The thing that's fun about Malawi and the Satemwa Estate in Malawi is you're right on the coast. So sometimes you pick up aquatic notes that you would not traditionally get into a pu'er that you're going to get out of this one because of the location. And so enjoy and explore. And this is a great morning tea if you're looking to replace something that's a little bit heavier in caffeine, but you still want body and something that kind of perks you up. And last but not least, we're going into the world of Rooibos because, of course, sometimes we start the new year with a goal of less caffeine. And so green Rooibos is our last one. So what makes this green? Instead of baking the Rooibos leaves, which turns it red, right, our red bush tea, steaming it leaves the leaves yellow and green. And this brews a very nice color of orange, not the dark red you're used to. You're gonna steep it. You can steep it absolutely like a green tea, so 3 minutes, 175 degrees. You can also do it 5 minutes at a boil, just like Rooibos, because we are not dealing with tannic acid in this plant or caffeine. If you are a green tea drinker, this is a beautiful caffeine-free option for you. It is not floral, right? It's got that grassy notes that all of us like out of the green tea. They're a little bit more baked and kind of dry hay than fresh cut grass, but it's still a gorgeous tea. And so I would tell you as you start the new year, be open-minded, go out and find new stuff, and keep drinking with us. Hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when we add more videos to our channel. And check out the highlighted videos to learn even more about tea. And last but not least, you can check out all of the teas we talk about in our videos at dominiontea.com.